Good evening, folks, and welcome to Embry Stadium. We are live here in Tampa, Florida. Brandon Davis here alongside Bruce Wozniak. So we have the Tampa Spartans here alongside the Embry Riddle Eagles. Tampa Spartans are number 6 ranked in the country against the number 23 Embry Riddle Eagles.
And some very impressive one-loss records by these two teams. 17-7 for Embry Riddle, and the Spartans, wow, they have been absolutely on a tear. UT comes into tonight's game with a 23-8 one-loss record, and they have won 12 consecutive games. So obviously the Eagles looking to be the spoilers here this evening on a beautiful night.
Here's the funny thing. Both teams have a winning streak. So the almost goal in this matchup, as the Eagles have a 6-game winning streak. You mentioned that they have a 17-7.
Showing bunt.
And she strikes out for the first strike out for Mariah Gearhouse to start off the evening.
Obviously a great start for Galehouse and for UT, and want to establish some kind of defensive dominance right from the beginning, and that's a tremendous way to do so.
So Mia Mekia comes out, swings at the first pitch for a count 0-1. The freshman out of Texas.
She's batting 190 so far this season.
Seems to be the slap hitter for the Eagles.
And she's only played in 13 games this season, so a nice opportunity here getting to see the field against UT.
The 0-2. Strike 3. Both batters go down on swinging, and Mariah Gearhouse gets her second strikeout.
It's interesting, you can still see in the dirt there, when she came up to bat to start that at-bat, she drew a line just outside the batter's box, a straight line extended.
Oh yes, I see that. Wow.
And whatever that was for, it didn't help.
Foul pitch goes to the net, as that's going to be the first strike for Maggie Scott. Maggie Scott out of Western Florida signals a bunt, retracts it, and it'll be a count 1-1. The 1-1. Foul tip. Count 1-2.
And I mentioned about this impressive winning streak that the Spartans are on, and they've done a lot of it on the road, at least in terms of their last 6 games have all been away, so good for them to be back home. And of course, happy to be here with that huge winning streak in tow. As I mentioned, they've won 12 consecutive games coming into this evening.
But the Spartans are 8-1 on the road games, so definitely dominating there. 1-2, right lined out to Galehouse, and she finishes the first inning as we go down to the bottom of the first inning, and the Spartans will be up. We'll be right back on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
And we are back here, folks, as the Embry Riddle Eagles get back onto the field. We have Kelsey Collins at the circle here. Kelsey Collins, the senior out of Claremont, Florida.
She's really done the lion's share of the work for the Eagles so far this season. She has appeared in 15 games, actually 11 complete games out of her 15 starts.
So
and she has an ERA of 2.41.
2.41, very impressive. Galehouse starts off the inning. Fastball strike for count 0-1.
93 innings pitched is tops on the Embry Riddle staff for Kelsey Collins, which is why I say that she's done most of the work on the pitching staff. They do have two other arms on the team. Really, Mallory Kinahan is the other who's done a good deal of action. And of course, there's a doubleheader tomorrow, so you probably expect to see Collins probably in the second game tomorrow, but she gets the start here tonight.
Fly ball left field, and it is caught for a first out. So Galehouse goes out. And Stephanie Ballmer will be the second batter up.
That's still encouraging, though. Even though it's a flyout, to put the bat on the ball like that and give it a good ride in the first at-bat of the game. Galehouse is hitting .314, so you do kind of expect her to do something. I don't want to say big to imply maybe a home run, but nice start there, even though they did get the first out on the first batter.
Well, here's the funny thing, Bruce. We usually see Galehouse at that number 3 and number 4 in the lineup, but now she's starting off, so definitely something Coach Kenna has definitely tried to change with the Spartans, because now up 12 games, a 12-game winning streak, and they're trying to just continue the streak and trying to just continue the flow. So we'll definitely see if that works, as Ballmer, the 1-1 count, swings for the second strike.
Ballmer is hitting 194, and you're right, maybe it's just keeping things fresh, and maybe it's to throw off Embry Riddle a little bit in putting Galehouse in that leadoff position, or a combination of the two.
Definitely. Foul tip. Ballmer batting a 194 on the season, total of 93 at-bats, only 18 hits in the season so far, but definitely contributing with this team as the games go on this season. Ball 2-2.
Well, and equally important, Ballmer is always such a solid contributor defensively.
Exactly. It's not always about the numbers, Bruce. It's always about the contribution with the team and the chemistry. 2-2. Swing, foul, down the left field line. It'll be foul ball.
Another well-hit ball.
Well hit. Just a little bit too early on that one. I would just appreciate her to just be a little bit more patient. You can see she's definitely a little bit more anxious. trying to set the tone for her team. But as she steps back into the batter's box, we'll have the 2-2. Here's the pitch. Grounder. Second base. Oh, it is fumbled, and Balmer gets the first base. So E4 on the play by Rianne Drayton allows Balmer to get the first base. And now we have Lauren Fantone, which I call her the triple hitter. She's known for her triples. Lauren Fantone will get up to the batter's box.
Yeah, and that's a good nickname. She has 3 triples this season.
Definitely clutch triples, as that will be the ball for the first pitch. But yes, going back to your point.
Yeah, Steph Ballmer, you know, the comment that you made that maybe she's a little anxious in the batter's box, as a result, she's happy to reach base even if it is by way of an error, because you don't want that to start getting into your head.
And she successfully steals second base. Good play by the Eagles to almost have that ball going to center field.
And that's how you continue to build confidence. If you reach base, it doesn't matter if it's a hit bat, if it's a walk, if it's a single, if it's an error, and now she gets the stolen base, and very early on the Spartans already have a runner in scoring position.
The 1-1. Ball outside, low on that pitch. But yes, the Spartans continuously this season have got on base or even scored reach on error. So a lot of unearned points for the Spartans, as they definitely just take advantage of the opportunities. The 2-1, ball outside, count 3-1.
Yeah, the catcher for Embry Riddle trying to look at that one into the strike zone, Isabel Bond, and the home plate umpire wasn't buying it.
3-1, swing, little blooper to right field, and it is caught. Balmer not tagging. Good decision by her to not tag, and that'll be 2 outs as Corinne Miner comes up. Corinne Miner on the season, total 86 at bats, so having a .326 batting average. Really impressive start from her. And only, I believe, 1 home run as she ground ball is short, and she's going to be safe. So now we have runners on first and third. 1 man in scoring position.
She actually has 3 home runs. She hit him in back-to-back games, and she's second on the team in RBI with 16. And a great job there by her to run that one out and, of course, advance Steph Ballmer over to third.
And now we have Alexa Russo, the third baseman, up to the batter's box with a potential RBI here. First pitch is the ball high.
Russo hitting in the number 5 spot here, and a good opportunity for her. I just mentioned that Corinne Miner is second in RBI. Well, Alexa Russo is who she's second to. Russo has 17 RBI, so a chance to add to that total here.
Ball outside. Oh, excuse me. It's going to be 1-1 count. That was a high ball. I mean, a high strike, I believe so. So the ump having some tight calls on these pitches. The 1-1. Grounder. There's the third baseman. Fires the first and gets the third out to close the inning and not give up any runs in the first inning. So no runs, no hits, 2 men left on base. Here we are going into the second inning on TampaSpartans.tv.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
It's not about any one thing. It's about how everything comes together, how it all connects. people, ideas, resources, community, everything. Quality of life services. That's what we do. Sodexo.
Scream? Nah. Yeah, we'll go. Thank you, appreciate it. Welcome back to TampaSpartans.tv. This is Brandon Davis alongside Bruce Wozniak. Here we are on the top of the second inning with Mahalia Sandrich starting off the second. As she steps in the batter's box now. Here's Galehouse with the first pitch. Ball low, count 1-0.
Really amazing the way the weather has been for this start of the game, considering the rains that were so heavy earlier today that you almost had to wonder if this game was even going to happen. And it's just really turned into a beautiful evening here.
Yes, it is beautiful, but it's a tad bit humid. A tad bit. So Drayton steps back into the batter's box. 2-0 count. And the pitch, I believe it's fouled off the bottom of her bat, so that'll be a 2-1 count.
Will settle for humid over what do you mean we don't get to play? We're looking at the 4, 5, and 6 hitters this inning for the Eagles. And here's the 2-1.
Count 2-2 now.
Tell you, that pitch there, that's one of those ones where from our vantage point it looked like it was way outside for a ball, and it's us being slightly off center, not directly behind home plate, that makes the difference between him seeing it as it is and what we feel it should have been from up here.
So Drayton signals a bunt and fouls off that pitch. But yeah, going back to your point about the pitches, it is very, very hard to see. We are very angled to the right in this press box. So Drayton signals the bunt again. Grounds foul.
Well, she's definitely hanging tough and making Mariah Galehouse work for this out if she's going to get her out. And you got to credit Drayton. She's the one that made the error in the bottom of the first and shaking that off and coming here and putting in a strong at-bat.
Pitch is low for a full count now. So Galehouse definitely getting some work here. Pitch count up to, I believe, 14 now. Still very good. But here's the pitch. Grounder right to back to Galehouse. And she gets the first out. So now we have Lauren Latoria comes up for her first at bat. Some statistics on her.
Latoria is hitting .306 in 24 games this season.
Grounder back to Galehouse again, and it'll be the second out for the Spartans.
It's kind of an instant replay.
Exactly.
Of the leadoff hitter.
So Karina Ortiz Munoz will get her first at bat with 2 outs here.
She's hitting .259 in 24 games played.
Ball outside for the 1-0 count. Ooh, a close one there for a strike for the 1-1. Galehouse getting her rhythm back now. You gotta remember the last game against the Sailfish, she did pitch a shutout game.
Wow.
All speed pitch there for the 1-2 count now.
Yeah, and I noticed watching her swing that bat, you know, when you look at a stat line like hers and you see that she has struck out 16 times this season.
Grounder up the middle. And it's going to be the first hit for the Eagles.
It tells you that it's someone who's very active with the bat, and it's almost an all or nothing kind of thing. You're either striking out or, as you see there, reaching base.
It was a good thing that she fought. She stayed patient, she waited for her pitch, and she got on base. And that's what you want from a coach. From a player, excuse me.
First hit of the game for the Eagles.
So Kelsey Kressler comes up. First pitch strike, and she swings at that one. Good breaking ball pitch by Gail House for the 0-1. Here's the pitch. 0-2 and now.
Kressler having herself a nice season, hitting .357 through 20 games played.
Wow. And that's going to be the third out as she swung, and the Spartans close out. The top of the second, and here we go down to the bottom of the second. We'll be right back here on TampaSpartans.tv.
Just another ordinary day at UT.
And we are back here at TampaSpartans.tv as the Spartans will lead off the bottom of the second. We have Lexi Chevalier here at the batter's box. The first pitch, high, ball one.
Chevalier hitting .318 this season.
Second pitch is outside, count 2-0.
Chevalier, one of a good number of players to appear in all 31 games so far this season.
Third pitch is the count 3-0 now, so 3 straight balls for the Eagles, for Collins, as she kind of tries to regroup here in the circle.
Chevalier and 6 others have all played in all 31 games so far this season.
Pitch is a strike for the first pitch. So now the count is 3-1 as Chevalier steps back in the batter's box. I think she's trying to find her right pitch here. Here's a pitch. Pop up, right to center field. And it is caught for the first out as Chevalier goes down. And now we have Lily Keister up. Keister, the left-handed batter here out of Tampa, Florida, in the first year here for the Spartans. Here's the pitch. Ball outside. Count 1-0.
Keister hitting .258. She's played in 21 of UT's 31 games.
And she's definitely one of the more prominent players for the Spartans. And she hits it to left field for the Spartans' first hit of the game. as Kisa gets on base. And now we have Emily Jansen coming up to the batter's box.
Jansen, the number 8 hitter.
Foul pitch for the first one. I think Kisa was trying to go on that one.
Mackenzie Allen in the on-deck circle. Spartans had a base runner, 2 base runners actually, in the bottom of the first. And with one aboard here in the bottom of the second.
Grounded to short. Can it be a double play? Oh, they only get one at second for the second out. So Kisa will be out. And Jansen will get the first base now. And now we have...
What, she came out of the batter's box like a track star. And that could be the reason why they didn't even bother trying to go over to first. And throw would have never been there in time.
Well, she looks ready to go to second here as we have Mackenzie Allen takes the first pitch for a ball. Count 1-0. Mackenzie Allen, the sophomore, not that many at bats here, so we can't really describe her stats here, but not that many at bats. Only 11 at bats in the season. She takes a second pitch for a strike, so the count will be 1-1.
Yeah, we've seen Mackenzie Allen in some pinch running situations, but you're right. She's played in 19 games, 11 at bats, hitting 182.
Chopper. Can it be another? Oh, they get the third out. Almost ran into each other, but that will close out the second inning here, folks. Thank you for watching TampaSpartans.tv. We'll be right back.
I
am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Welcome back here, folks. Thank you for joining TampaSpartans.tv. You're here back in the third inning now with the Eagles starting off the top of the third. So Isabel Bond, number 99, will step into the plate. First pitch, strike, count 0-1.
Fast moving
Gearhouse
game.
throws. Second pitch, foul ball, goes right above the dugout and out of bounds.
In the top of the third, and it's only 6:27 p.m. Eastern time, and the two teams have only combined for 3 hits.
Ooh, a breaking ball pitch, but it's going to be a ball for count 1-2 now. Here's a pitch. Grounder to short. Can she get it? And she does. A great play by Alexa Russo to field it and then get it to Mackenzie Allen for the first out.
Yeah, the difference there was if you stand still and wait for that ball to come to you, by the time it reaches you, you're not going to have the time to throw it to first base and the runner's going to be safe. But because Russo charged the ball, she was able to get the out in plenty of time.
So for the first pitch, it's a ball, 1-0. Here for Brockenborough, who's the last batter. Chops it fair. Grounds it, and she gets that out. Wow, what an excellent play by Lexi Chevalier to feel the ball and get it out just in time. Almost had no time there, Bruce.
Yeah, and those are what I'm talking about. Those extra seconds, that's what makes the difference between safe and out.
So we're back here in the top of the lineup. Foul ball goes into the stands and out of bounds for the first pitch. That would be a foul ball for a count 0-1.
Yeah, as you mentioned, back to the top of the order, and Sandridge, who is 0 for 1, having struck out to start the game.
Second pitch is low outside. Count 1-1. Sandridge, her last at bat, struck out, so she's 0 for 1. Nice pitch, liner, and she catches it. Excellent play to close out the inning, and the Eagles go down here in the top of the third. We'll be right back. Stay here, folks, on TampaSpartans.tv. And we're back here, folks. Mariah Galehouse will set off the tone here as we go to the top of the order for the Spartans. Here's a pitch on the outside corner, but it's going to be a ball, and the count is 1-0.
And we remember back to the bottom of the first, Galehouse starting things off. She had that fly out to left field.
So Collins, already 31 pitches, only in the third inning. Grounder, and it's just foul going down the left field line. Galehouse in her last at bat, a fly out to left field, so she's 0-1. The 1-1 high for a count 2-1.
Yeah, that one, it doesn't matter what our angle is. That one we knew was up high for sure.
So Galehouse here gripping it. Grounder, and it's going to be foul for a count 2-2. Galehouse already doing excellent pitching. Let's see if her hitting can come to play. And a little blooper to center field. Diving catch by the Eagles. Mackenzie Scott, I believe so. Maggie Scott, a beautiful diving play by her to get the first out of the inning. Wow, Bruce. I'm just amazed sitting here watching that play. If only we have replay, we could see that again.
Yeah, that's going to go on the Embry Riddle highlight reel. It's going to go on Maggie Scott's highlight reel. I thought that ball was dropping for sure and that we were looking at a base hit. I honestly thought that was going to be a little blooper play, a little blooper single, but nonetheless, a bunt here is going to be foul as the ball hit her shirt, and it's going to be another out as the Spartans frustrated with that play. Stephanie Balmer
goes back to the dugout.
That's a tough one, especially after there's a ball hit to the outfield that looks like it's going to be a base hit, and taking nothing away from the acrobatic catch that was made.
Yes.
So then to all of a sudden have a batter come up and do that, and very quickly there's already 2 outs. That's a tough way for the Spartans to start off this bottom of the third.
So grounder right to first, and the Spartans go down on 3. So Fantone gets the grounder, and the Eagles close it out. Easy 1, 2, 3, and now we go back to the third inning, bottom of the third. Excuse me, the top of the fourth. We'll be right back here on TampaSpartans.tv.
I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven when I
Welcome back here, folks. The Eagles start off the top of the fourth with Mia Macchia, who steps into the batter's box. Still no runs here. First pitch is low for the first count, 1-0.
If we remember back to the first inning, we saw Galhouse strike out the first 2 batters of the game, so this was one of them, and so Macchia looking to change her fortunes here in the top of the fourth.
Here's the second pitch. Cut for a foul tip, and the count will be 1-1. Going back to what you're saying, Macchia, yes, we did see that strikeout previously. She is now 0 for 1. Definitely looking to erase that and get her first hit of the night. Foul goes out in the stands. Didn't even really get full contact on that one, Bruce.
And if you just joined our broadcast and you're looking and saying, is it really the top of the fourth? I thought this was a 6 o'clock game. It really did start at 6, and it really is the top of the fourth. We just saw probably about the fastest half inning as we're going to see all season, with the Spartans going 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the third. Grounder
straight to first, and Jansen puts it away for the first out. Yes, it feels like I'm commenting basketball. It's like it's going so fast, but also very exciting for the fans as they're very engaged here. We see a lot of Eagles fans here as they support from the youth to the elders. So it's always very good to see whether it's home or away games for both teams. Foul tip, and it's going to be foul.
And on that note, a reminder that these 2 teams will play a doubleheader tomorrow. So if you're in the greater Tampa Bay area, come on out and support the team in person here at the Namoli Family Stadium. And if you're not, by all means, the games will be shown tomorrow on TampaSpartans.tv, so you can watch that doubleheader if you're nowhere near this immediate area.
Bunt, again a foul. But yes, going back to Bruce's point, tune in tomorrow as we have a doubleheader starting at 12 o'clock. Me and Taylor will be broadcasting that game, and same teams, and they will be going at the doubleheader. So tune into that, definitely. Foul ball again. Galhouse definitely having a tough one here with Maggie Scott. Up to almost 40 pitches now, as Maggie Scott is definitely giving her a run.
I will be doing lacrosse tomorrow, and it's so impressive that the Spartans have so many teams. 6 different UT programs are ranked in the top 20 nationally, and this is one of them. The women's softball team ranked number 6.
Yes.
And men's lacrosse plays tomorrow. They're ranked number 1 in the country.
If you're a lacrosse fan, definitely tune in to TampaSpartans.tv. Same website. Bruce will be broadcasting that one very shortly. Now that will be a strikeout. The 3rd strikeout, I believe, so the 4th strikeout for Galhouse as the Spartans get the 2nd out. So we have Sandridge up again. Oh, excuse me, Rianne Drayton up. Drayton, her last at bat, 0 for 1, a ground ball straight to Galhouse. Here's the first pitch. A little high on that one, but it'll be a strike for the first pitch. Count 0-1.
I feel like, Brandon, we're at the point in the game where these teams have stopped kind of feeling each other out, and it's time for someone to really put something together here offensively.
His second pitch, a little bit outside, but another strike. Great angle by Gelhaus as she gets the second strike for a count 0-2.
As much as we talked about how fast this game is moving along, all of a sudden they're going to look up at the scoreboard and see, wow, it's the sixth inning. Someone's going to need some kind of offense put together, because here we are, top of the fourth, no runs for either team and only a combined total of 3 hits. So time will eventually become an issue here, and someone's going to have to start finding their hitting shoes.
Well, I think it's best to say both teams coming into here very, very anxious. You know, the weather, I'm going to say this, the weather is very, very humid, so it's definitely uncomfortable. Grounder off Gelhaus's glove, and they get the third out. A great assistance play by Alexa Russo to close out the inning, and all 3 batters for the Eagles go down. So that will conclude the top of the fourth here. We'll stay right here. We'll be right back on TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown.
Welcome back here, folks. We're in the bottom of the fourth here as Corinne Miner will come up to the batter's box. Corinne Miner in the last at bat, 1 for 1 with a single. So she's definitely trying to set the tone here for the Spartans, as they only have 2 hits compared to the Eagles' 1.
Kelsey Collins has thrown 38 pitches through the first 3 innings.
First pitch is high and outside for count 1-0.
And the Spartans, you know, as much as I said both teams need to get their offense going, probably wouldn't mind working some long at-bats and trying to let it take its toll a little bit more on Kelsey Collins' arm, being that she'll likely pitch one of the 2 games tomorrow.
Great assessment. Deep fly ball to left center. And Corinne Miner gets on base for a leadoff double. Excellent, excellent play by Corinne Miner. Great timing, great execution, and she gets on base.
Yeah, terrific ball there. Hit to the outfield by Corinne Miner.
Now we have Alexa Russo, who previously concluded the top of the 4th inning, and now she steps up to the plate.
Yeah, I want to go back to that play that ended the top of the 4th, because the ball was just off of Mariah Gelhaus's glove.
Speaking of glove, chopper right back to Collins, and she gets the play.
And so Russo defensively was able to make the play in time, because that nick off of the glove of Gelhaus could have been the difference, but Russo made the defensive play in time over to Jansen for the final Embry Riddle 3rd out of the top of the 4th. And so now we have 1 out here in the bottom half of the inning.
So 1 out here, 1 runner in scoring position. Chevalier is up. First pitch is the ball. Now Chevalier in her last at bat went 0 for 1 with a fly out to center. But now she gets another fly out, hypothetically speaking. She can now potentially move up Miner to 3rd or even home. We'll see. Second pitch swinging. And that'll be a count 1-1, I believe so.
And it's really important that the Spartans do something with this runner, because as I was saying, eventually time is going to become a factor. And so here you are with only 1 out and a runner on second base. So they do need to get Corinne Miner moved up, if not brought home.
The 1-1. High for count 2-1. Spartans have a potential opportunity here to get the first run of the evening and go up. The 2-1. Swinging for count 2-2. Excellent pitch by Collins.
Yeah, it was an excellent pitch, and even if Lexi didn't swing at that, it was going to be a strike anyway, so you might as well give it your best try.
And speaking of giving your best try, here's the 2-2. Swinging again, and Collins gets the strikeout. And that's her first strikeout of the evening here. Definitely a confidence booster for Kelsey Collins, as Lily Keiser comes up to the batter's box with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Outside for a count 0-1. Good angle pitch by Collins.
And Keister did have that single in the second inning, her only at bat so far of this game, and so it gives her some confidence coming into the batter's box and seeing her teammate Corinne Miner standing at second, hoping to move her up, keep this inning alive with 2 outs.
So the 1-1 here, 2 outs with Miner on second. Tell by the looks of this, Bruce, she's ready to go and she's ready to get home. Foul tipped here for count 1-2.
These are always tough situations to get into because your adrenaline does start getting going when you see that you've got a runner in scoring position, and the temptation is that you just want to swing at everything. So it's tremendous discipline needed now, especially behind in the count 1-2.
Ball outside. So now we have a full count here. Oh, excuse me. 2-2 count. You can see the defense as they shift by. You see all the outfielders are kind of close. They know what's going to be expected of them. And we'll see how this goes. I'm honestly curious of what's going to happen.
Yeah, because there's a huge gap between second and short. If she was able to place it right over Corinne Miner's head, drop it in the outfield.
And you see how Keister is fighting against Collins with the pitch count. You previously mentioned this when we previously opened the inning, and now you're seeing it into fruition with the pitch count all the way up to now 46. Here's the pitch. Grounder straight to Collins, and she closes out the bottom of the 4th. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base here. You're watching TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
So here we are in the top of the 5th now. Still no runs. And now we have Lauren Lachori up here to start off the inning. She previously was 0-1. And now she takes the first strike for count 0-1. She's signaling the bunt. Infield fly here. And they close out for the first inning. Great execution by Emily Jansen as the ball was right to her. So Lindsay Harper comes up to the plate. Her last at bat, a single, and she stayed right at the single, right at first base. So 1 for 1, and she takes the first pitch, a great breaking ball pitch by Gail House for count 0-1. So Karina Ortiz comes up and she swings and a miss for count 1-1.
And, you know, if you're an Eagles fan, if you're a member of the Eagles team, Ortiz Munoz is the player that has the only hit of the game. So you try to draw some optimism from that. As you see the swing and the miss there. And
foul tip.
Lexi Chevalier.
Oh, I think Chevalier caught the contact on the bat here. I don't know if that is certain, but she's definitely in pain.
Head coach Leslie Cantor coming out of the dugout, coming over to check on her catcher. And you see Mariah Galhouse down there talking to her as well. And Lexi obviously in a little bit of trouble here.
So Cantor is actually laughing here. So that's definitely good signs as Chevalier gets up, and we are all clapping here because we like to see that she is not severely injured. So Chevalier walks it off as she approaches the circle, and she is laughing with her teammates. So it's always a good sign here, Bruce, to see that, you know, it's never severe.
Well, and here's the thing, you know, if that would have been to the point where they have to take her out of the game, Savannah Miller is usually the replacement, and Savannah Miller isn't even dressed because she's hurt. So then you have to look and see, well, who do we put behind the plate since Savannah Miller is not available? So it's
and the strikeout looking. Ortiz Munoz is looking, and she's laughing it off. Definitely frustrated on that controversial call as it hit the outside corner for the second out.
Yeah, so it's good for obvious reasons that Lexi Chevalier is okay, but it's also good because otherwise you have to scratch your head and say, who wants to play catcher?
So Kelsey Kressler comes up. First pitch high and outside. Kelsey Kressler, her last at bat, struck out swinging. So she's definitely trying to redeem her at bats as she steps back into the batter's box. Second pitch is ball. Oh, excuse me, a strike. A close call on that one, as that outside corner is definitely deceiving. So 1-1, 2 outs here, no runners on base. Here's the pitch, right to Balmer, Jansen, excuse me, and she closes out the top of the fifth. We'll be right back here, folks. You're watching TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level.
Welcome back here, folks, on TampaSpartans.tv. We again thank you for joining this website as we have Embry Jansen up to the batter's box. In the previous inning, she did close out with a grounder to close out the third out. So now she takes the first pitch, and it will be a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, Jansen with a great defensive play there to close out the top of the fifth, as you mentioned. And in the batter's box, she hit into a fielder's choice back in the second inning and working now in the bottom of the fifth.
High fly ball, center field, and it's caught. So Jansen will go down for the first out. Mackenzie Allen, the left hitter, will come up to the plate. Her last at bat, she was 0 for 1. So she is definitely trying to get her first hit tonight, as the Spartans only have 3 hits on the evening. First pitch is a strike, count 0-1.
Yeah, 3 hits for the Spartans, only 1 for the Eagles, but most importantly, it's 0-0, so it still really is anybody's ball game at this point.
Here's a pitch, high and outside, count 1-1.
And you saw there before that pitch, Kelsey Collins checking the wristband, now looking into her dugout as the catcher, Isabel Bond, checking her wristband as well.
Pitch, little chopper, third baseman got it, and she splits and gets the play. An excellent play by Ortiz Munoz as she splits down and gets the out. That's what you call execution.
Well, and that's also a tough play because in doing that split, the tendency is for your right foot to just come off the bag for just a second. And if the umpire is right on top of that and the timing is wrong, it doesn't matter how nice the split looks if you're not there in time. But she was, and great play by Ortiz Munoz for that out.
And now we have Gelhaus up here. First pitch, she chops it foul. Count 0-1. Gelhaus pitching really well today, but hasn't found the right contact on the bat. She's 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to outfield.
Well, I think you always know that it's just a matter of time before she's going to put the bat on the ball. Her and Corinne Miner both very reliable offensively, and that doesn't bode well for the Eagles, being that Mariah is 0 for 2 so far. That means that the numbers would bear it out that eventually she's going to break through either in this at-bat or the next one.
A wise assessment here, Bruce. A wise assessment. Just a little bit under, infield fly, and Sandridge will close out the fifth inning as we go to the top of the sixth here on TampaSpartans.tv.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
It's not about any one thing. It's about how everything comes together, how it all connects. People, ideas, resources, community, everything. Quality of life services. That's what we do. Sodexo.
Yeah. And we are back here, folks. Thank you again for joining TampaSpartans.tv. Again, I am Brandon Davis alongside Bruce Wozniak as we start the top of the sixth with Isabel Bond, the left-batted freshman out of Shawnee, Kansas, and she will lead off. First pitch is a ball low for count 1-0. Gelhaus approaching 60 pitches in only 5 innings, as the second pitch is a foul, and it will go into the stands for count 1-1. So now we see the sun setting a little bit as the clouds come in here, Bruce. I know you were talking about the nice weather, but that'll be another foul, and it will go out of bounds. So count 1-2. So we've seen this game go by really, really fast, and I definitely believe Gelhaus will want to close it out. Another grounder, and Jansen closes out for the first out of the inning.
Emily Jansen's had a busy game over there at first base.
So Brockenbrough will come up. Her last at bat, she was 0 for 1, and now she's up to plate. Bunts, but is tipped foul as it goes behind Chevalier. Great backup there by Miner as she came down from third base. And we talked about this off the record, but the Spartans formation assignment has been magnificent today, as they've been on sharp. As that'll be the second pitch for count 0-2. The 0-2. Ball outside, count 1-2.
Boy, Mariah Galhouse, she might not be doing it with her bat, parentheses yet, but she's really locked in the circle this evening.
So you can see Brockenbrough is definitely trying to slap hit it with only one out here and trying to get on base. So the 1-2 as Brockenbrough steps back into the batter's box. Here's the pitch. Grounder, and it goes foul down the left field line. Miner was definitely ready for that one, as that could have potentially been a line out.
And you always got to be ready, but especially in a game like this where now we're down to the top of the 6th inning, still no score, game of inches as we've seen on a number of plays. You got to be ready every time.
And speaking of being ready, still no runs, so both teams have to be ready to be excuse me. Have to be ready to defensively and offensively have to be ready as a team. So the 2-2 grounder to short to the play, and she gets the second out. A great sequence of events by Steph Ballmer, throwing it to Emily Jansen for the second out. So Mahalia Sandridge will come up to the plate as we go back up to the top of the lineup for the Eagles. First pitch is ball high and outside.
If the Spartans could just give Galhouse a little bit of run support. I mean, she's just so locked in tonight.
The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Count 1-1.
Because at this point, Brandon, the Eagles, it's really got to be starting to get into their head. What did we got to do to solve Mariah Galhouse? So if the offense could come through for a UT, it could really...
Deep fly ball right over the heads of Mackenzie Allen. Sandridge is going to third. An easy triple by Sandridge. The second hit for the Eagles, and now she's in scoring position with a potential leading run. Wow.
And that's good news for the Eagles, but the good news for the Spartans is there are 2 outs. So you get this next batter out, and all of a sudden that triple is actually meaningless. But it looks like we're going to have a change here as Kelsey Dunn, the coach of Embry Riddle, is talking to home plate umpire Scott Johnson. And so we're going to get...
So we're going to get a potential pinch hitting. We're going to get a pinch hitter here now. Leah Johnson will pinch hit with a runner on third, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. She tried to slap hit it for 2 outs. Not the best decision in my opinion. I would try to get a single up the middle. As you can see, the defenders are spaced out.
Johnson's hitting .346 this season.
Slap hit it. Chopper. They got it. And she could not execute as Alexa Russo overthrows it. And the Eagles score their first run of the evening as Sandridge scores. And Johnson advances to second. She got the job done. She pinch hit, and she got the job done. An excellent play by the Eagles as they go up 1-0.
And as I was saying, that's a smart move by Kelsey Dunn, bringing in someone that's hitting .346, and she makes her coach look good there, getting the job done.
An E4 in that play. Oh, excuse me. That'll be an E3, right? I think that's an E3 in that play. So Alexa Russo will get the E4. And Mackie Scott for the Eagles will be up to the batter's box. Little blooper foul down the left field line.
It looks like officially it's been scored a hit. But regardless, the fact of the matter is that Embry Riddle, who came into this inning only having 1 hit in the game, all of a sudden leads it 1-0.
Well, the tables have turned here, Bruce, as Galhouse pitches it That would be a strike. And the throw by Chevalier was just not in time as Johnson got back to second base.
That's one of those routine plays, though, that you got to give Chevalier credit for, though, because you catch that runner sleeping, you might get the out.
And speaking of out, we close it out by a great execution of play by Steph Ballmer to close out the inning. So 1 run, a few hits, and 1 runner left on base. Here we are in the bottom of the 6th. You're watching TampaSpartans.tv.
Just another ordinary day at UT.
So we're back here, folks, as the Spartans will start the bottom of the 6th, giving up 1 run in the top of the 6th. So the Eagles now lead 1-0. Both teams have 3 hits, and both teams have 1 error. So Ballmer will be up. She is 0 for 2 as she takes the first pitch for a high ball count 1-0.
And you remember early on, I was talking about that eventually time will become a factor. Well, now it's even more of a factor, only the tables have been turned such that it's a factor for UT. Trailing 1-0 now.
Here's a pitch, right to left field, and she is there for the play. So Ballmer will go down for the first out. So Fantone comes up to the plate. Another batter who is 0 for 2. A pop fly and a grounder in her previous at-bats. Here's a pitch. Right down the middle, strike for 0-1. As the clouds get darker and darker here, we can only presume that it might rain again. So we'll see. We'll give you some updates on that if the rain comes to play. The 0-1. Straight down the middle for a hit for Lauren Fantone, and she gets on base for the first time tonight.
Yeah, I was just going to say the weather is the last thing that the athletes are worried about right now. The Spartans need to find a way to get runners in scoring position, get at least 1 across the plate, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. And now with Fantone aboard, this is what you like. You're right into the meat of the order. The number 4 hitter, Corinne Miner, coming up to bat, and she already has a single and a double in this game.
So the numbers don't lie here, folks. So we'll see if Miner can contribute. High ball count 1-0 as Miner 2-2 tonight. The only batter for the Spartans that is consistent and doesn't have any outs. So we'll see if she can get some RBIs here or even some potential advanced runners. High fly ball straight to right field. Johnson is there and she catches it as Fantone retreats back to first. So now we have 2 outs here. Alexa Russo, who contributed the first error for the Spartans, comes up to the plate. 1 runner on first. Not ideally looking good for the Spartans right now as they trail by 1 with 2 outs.
That's a tough break there for Corinne Miner, that fly out. You know that she wanted to make a statement and advance the runner, but for now, Lauren Fantone holds at first base.
So the first pitch was a ball. Count is 1-0. Russo definitely not anxious that much. It's 2 outs. Trying to wait on her pitch to contribute for the Spartans. Signaling a bunt. She goes. Fantone goes. Is she safe? Runs right into Drayton. A scary play, but she is safe. No interference. But wow, that was scary.
What's interesting, too, is that was also almost a hit by pitch because Russo had to lean back, and then there's also some potential damage that was just avoided in the form of that collision as well.
Hopefully there's no damage from Drayton, as she looked a little bit shaken up on that play, but she is regrouped, and now she's ready to go.
We again see that huge gap between second and short. So again, the place to put it is right where your teammate is on second base.
The 1-1. Grounder. Foul. 1-2.
If Russo can just place this one nicely just beyond where Fantone is on the second base bag, there's a huge gap there. And if nothing else, at least get Fantone to third at this point.
Exactly. That might be the play here for Coach Canner. Here's the 1-2. Swing. Foul down the right field line. She was a little bit late on that one, but I like the decision that she made, trying to angle it down the right field to get the defense a little bit surprised on that one. So great decision by Alexa Russo, just a little bit too late on that one. So count is 1-2, 2 outs, 1 runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. High for count, 2-2. The intensity is definitely rising here in the press box, and you can hear the stands, they're definitely engaged, and we love to see that.
The other thing that you have to think about is a ball hit to the outfield, that throw all the way home. You know that's where the Eagles are going to go with it. So do your fielders have that kind of range to get it there?
2-2. Ball outside. Full count now. So this is definitely interesting here, Bruce. We have a full count here, 2 outs. Alexa Russo is potentially going to be the contributor for the leading RBI run. But we'll see as Fantone's at second. Here is Russo. Collins. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. All-speed pitch. Third strike, and the Spartans cannot contribute as they go down swinging. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base, 1 runner, and we go to the top of the 7th. You're watching TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us.
And for the college sports.
I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven.
And we're back here at TampaSpartans.tv. Eagles start off the 7th inning with Rianne Drayton coming up to the plate. Galehouse pitches it. Liner right to Balmer, fields it, and gets the play. Excellent execution by Balmer, throwing it to Jansen for the first out.
Recovery by Balmer because she started to bobble it a little bit, and all of a sudden you start to clench her fist and think she's not going to get there in time, but she's able to make the nice recovery and get the out at first base, which is hugely important at this point. The Spartans trailing 1-0.
Latoria is up, the shortstop. Swings, grounder straight to short. Same sequence of events, and it's going to be the second out as the Spartans are definitely on their feet here. Great defensive play by Stephanie Balmer and Emily Jensen.
And Ortiz Munoz, who has 1 hit, along with a strikeout in the batter's box now, trying to keep things alive for the Eagles.
Foul tip, and it's going to be a strike for Ortiz Munoz. Not to mention that excellent play on the defensive end from Karina Ortiz Munoz. She actually did a split, and that's very, very impressive for her, for any player. as the swing, and it's going to be a foul for a count 0-2.
And I'll tell you, if you're the Eagles, you got to be feeling pretty good right now. You know, obviously you'd love to give yourself an insurance run, but the Spartans just haven't really been able to put a lot together offensively to worry you, and your pitcher is doing as well as Collins is.
So that'll be ball outside for a count 1-2 here. And like going back to your message, both teams are on a streak, a winning streak. Spartans have 12, Eagles have 6. The O must go with seeing that the Eagles are definitely trying to keep their streak. High fly ball left field, and she gets the play. An excellent play by Lauren Fantone as she slides down and hits the fence to close out the inning. Wow, a great impressive play by Lauren Fantone. And with that, we'll be right back here, folks. You're watching TampaSpartans.tv. And we're back here, folks, in the bottom of the 7th. Spartans now trailing 1-0 as we have Lexi Chevalier up.
Yeah, we're going to see the 6, 7, and 8 hitters this inning. Chevalier 0 for 2 so far in the game.
First pitch is high and outside for a count 1-0.
Good to see that Lexi bounced back from that incident behind the plate defensively where we thought she might have been injured. And she's got some pressure on her here for sure. Her team is 3 outs away from seeing their 12-game winning streak come to an end.
Yeah, that is definitely unfortunate, but it's not true yet, and that will be another strike for count 1-1. Spartans 8-1 at home. Excuse me. It's gonna be a ball for count 2-1. Going back to what I was saying, the Spartans are 12-6 at home, so definitely have a good record at home, but even better record on the road. So they got the majority of their losses at home, so that's pretty ironic with such a dominating team. Pitch, foul popped up. Can she get it? And it ricochets off the net, but she cannot catch the ball.
Well, and for Embry Riddle, being about 2.5 hours away up in Daytona Beach, they've traveled nicely. They've got some good support here. A lot of fans in the stands rooting for the Eagles. So it's a road game for sure, but they probably feel somewhat like the home team because they've got so much cheering behind them.
And the Spartans, they need to respect the Eagles. They're ranked 2. They're number 23 ranked. And ground ball to short. Here's the throw. And here's the first out of the inning.
Chevalier gave it her all running that one out, but wasn't able to beat the throw. And so that's going to bring up Lily Keister.
So Lily Keister, who is 1 for 2 on the night. Her last at bat, she grounded straight to Collins. So she's definitely not trying to repeat that, but also trying to get on base. First pitch, swing and a miss. Tried to slap hit on that one. Count 0-1. The 0-1. Ball outside. 1-1.
I was talking before about how dominant Mariah Galhouse was from the circle, and I want to make sure to give Kelsey Collins her due. You know, you look at her numbers, and they're not real sexy. She only has 2 strikeouts, but bottom line is she's only allowed 4 hits, hasn't allowed a single run, and she's 2 outs away from a complete game victory.
So foul tipped. Here will be a count 1-2.
Her pitch count at 78 coming into this at-bat, so it's up to at least 82 now.
She's only faced 24 batters. Only 24. It's not that many, but definitely getting the upper hand and definitely getting the contribution from her teammates who have definitely held it down for Collins.
Yeah, she hasn't walked anybody.
Ball outside. Count 2-2. Good point you mentioned. No balls. There's been no balls. I don't think there's been any walks this game. A very fast-paced game we got going on. Low hits, low runs. So a lot of great execution on the defensive end. Pitch foul tipped.
Lily Keister doing her best to stay alive here. And, you know, the Spartans don't hit home runs at home. They just don't. And so at this point, you got to hope that maybe Lily Keister can get you an extra base hit and get herself into scoring position.
The 2-2. Low. Count 3-2. So full count here now. 1 out.
Emily Jansen on deck, waiting to see what Keister does here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out.
Collins, the pitch. Foul tipped. Ball was going to be high, but it is a full count, and with two strikes, you got to swing whatever looks good. So it definitely worked out for her to get the foul ball and not strike out swinging.
Yeah, Keister really doing a nice job working this at bat.
(3-2). Chopper. Collins gets it, and it's fair. Oh, no, it's going to be foul. Got a little bit too excited here in the press box as the ball went out of bounds. But nonetheless, it's going to be 3-2. Don't know why I said it's going to be fair.
Wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking here. As we try to remain non-biased. So, 3-2. Chopper. It's going to be fair. Here's the throw. And she is safe. Great running by Lily Keister to fight out the pitch count and get to first base.
Well, and that's why I said, you know, she worked so hard during that at-bat staying alive, and so I think her patience was rewarded, but her speed was also rewarded.
Definitely a worthy inclusion there, as we now have Emily Jansen up to the plate. Great performance for her on the offensive end and the defensive end tonight. Chopper up the middle. Can it be a double play? And it's going to be safe. So it's only going to be 1 out. Could have been a double play. They could have ended it. But Brocken, excellent play by her. And Jansen will be at first. So it's going to be so Mackenzie Allen is going to come off, and it's going to be a pinch hit. So Abigail Single is going to come up, getting her first at-bat tonight. Coach Cannon trying to try something new here, as the Spartans have no runs. They're trailing by 1.
Siegel hitting .261, and obviously head coach Leslie Cantor hoping that she can come through here.
Here's the first pitch. Inside, but it's going to be a strike for a count 0-1. Runner was trying to go, but that's going to be high in the ball for a count 1-1.
It was interesting, Brandon, on that attempted double play. We again saw Ortiz Munoz do the splits at first base. She done it so successfully, so nicely earlier on. This time wasn't meant to be. And so the Spartans stay alive.
The 1-1. I believe that's going to be off her bat. Looked like it was off her body, but nonetheless, it's going to be another foul for count 1 and 2.
And Abigail Siegel is actually exhaling a sigh of relief there as she watched that ball roll, hoping that it wasn't going to stay fair.
Siegel. Collins has never faced Siegel, so a fresh batter for her. We'll see how it goes. Inside ball. It's going to be a strike. And the Eagles go and end the Spartans' 12-game winning streak. And they go now 18-7. And the Spartans go 23-9. A devastating loss by the Spartans. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the Spartans now lose. Any thoughts, Bruce? That was very shocking. Any thoughts?
Again, I have to say, you got to really credit Kelsey Collins. You know, a very dramatic strikeout to end the game there. But look at that final line score. The Eagles win it 1-0, and they only had 3 hits. Now, granted, the Spartans only had 4. But, you know, the Spartans' offense just could never really get going tonight. They never had one inning where they really mounted a serious threat, and you really felt like they were about to break through. And with this doubleheader now tomorrow against the Eagles, they're really going to have to find their offense quickly. Again, factoring in that one of those 2 games, probably the second one, they're going to see Kelsey Collins again. So she should feel good about herself. And Embry Riddle as a team, they have to feel great. They've now won 7 in a row, and they're confident going into that doubleheader tomorrow.
They have the confidence. They have the momentum. We'll see how the Spartans retaliate as they can potentially win the next 2 games and close out the series tomorrow. So a great sequence of events here on Friday night. Thank you for joining us. This is Brandon Davis and Bruce Wozniak, and all of us in Tampa Spartans.tv signing out. Have a good night.